ARCA's last race here at Salem came down to a final lap slugfest as Frank Kimmel banged his way by Tim Steele to take the victory, cementing his second ARCA championship.
You hate to say it, but shoe be on the other foot one of these days.
And today could be that day. Tim Steele and Frank Kimmel are poised for another short track showdown. And the question is, will the proverbial shoe be on the other foot today? We're about to find out as the ARCA RE/MAX Series hits the high banks of Salem. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Salem Speedway in Salem, Indiana. The ARCA RE/MAX Stock Car Series. Today, the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200. I'm Rick Benjamin, joined by two-time ARCA Series champion Bill Venturini. Don Radabaugh's on pit road for us today. And this is one of the great short tracks in the country, Bill Venturini.
This is not only a high bank half mile, but each corner's different, so you have to watch how you enter the corners.
Let's take a look at the series point standings. After 3 rounds, Kimmel has been the dominator. Billy Venturini is 6th. Andy Belmont and Tim Steele make up the rest of the top 3. They'll be among the drivers to watch today. But it's been the Frank Kimmel show so far this season. He's standing by with our Don Radabaugh.
Thanks, Rick. Can't help but notice things are looking very much the same up front, the same as they did last week at Winchester Speedway. And it happened the same way. Defending champion Frank Kimmel bumps Tim Steele off the pole in the final minutes of qualifying for what is his 3rd consecutive pole award of this 01 season. We know how it's going to start. Don't know how it's going to end up, though. Maybe our pole sitter can help us out. How about it, Frank? You got what it takes here today?
Well, we certainly hope so. The Advanced Auto Parts Sport car has been really good today. Just got a slick old racetrack. We're going to have to race the racetrack all day today.
Yeah, what he means by that is you're not worried about the guy next to you. You're just worried about getting your car around this racetrack.
Start your engine. And the field about ready to roll off here at Salem Speedway in Salem, Indiana. 29 cars and drivers are ready to do battle for us here in the ARCA RE/MAX Stock Car Series on Speed Vision. And our coverage of the ARCA RE/MAX Series today is being brought to you by RE/MAX. In the race to sell homes, our track record is second to none. RE/MAX, outstanding agents, outstanding results. And by Cornwell Quality Tools. Professional mechanics worldwide choose Cornwell, the official tools of ARCA. And by Suzuki ATVs, makers of the Quadmaster 500 4x4. It has the performance to keep you rolling. Welcome back to Salem Speedway in Salem, Indiana. The Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200 today here on Speed Vision, the ARCA RE/MAX Stock Car Series. Pace vehicles starting to roll, the field firing up and ready to move out. Let's show you our starting lineup. Frank Kimmel on the pole. Tim Steele lines up alongside. Second row, Blaze Alexander from Pennsylvania and Jason Jarrett out of North Carolina.
Inside row 3, Joe Cooksey out of Centralia, Illinois, and Tracy Leslie next to him. Row 4, inside, Andy Belmont and AOL Ford. Next to him, Jeff Finley in the Bailey Excavating Chevrolet.
Row 5, Randy Van Zandt in the 5 car from Brookville, Ohio, and Vern Slaw from Zeeland, Michigan in the 65. There's Billy Venturini out of Concord, North Carolina in the 25. Todd Boucher in the 21 car.
Inside row 7, Ron Cox out of Soddy Daisy, Tennessee, and next to him, Rick Markle. Inside row 8, Mark Gibson. Next to him, Donnie Morlock driving a Ford.
9th row, Marty Butkovich's 36 car. He's from Ray, Michigan, and the Chevrolet of Norm Benning. The 10th row, Mike Buckley from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Carla Lampe, mother of 6 from Iowa.
Inside row 11, Daryl Basham, and next to him, Kevin Belmont. Row 12, Tim Turner driving a Pontiac, and next to him, Ryan Voss in a Ford.
13th row, Mike Melton from Cedar Grove, Tennessee in the 13 car. Chuck Weber from Mesquite, Texas in the Cardinal Tool Chevrolet. And then the 14th row, Greg Sarf in a Ford, and Dennis English from Kentucky. And Todd Antrikin in the 64 car, one of Norm Benning's Chevrolets, will bring up the rear in the 29th starting spot. So 200 laps of racing coming our way this afternoon as we take a look at our race analysis for the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200. Sunny skies today, Bill Venturini. Nice and comfortable, and a purse of nearly $100,000.
What a beautiful day for a beautiful race. I'm really excited. I love this racetrack. I love the way if they go through 3 and 4 right up against the wall. You go into turn 1 and 2, they're down low, but in 3 and 4, they're up against the wall.
Very racy racetrack, and it's hard to get a hold of this racetrack because the asphalt is so old here at Salem. The place has not been repaved in many years. 4 different onboard looks for you today. We'll ride with pole sitter and point leader Frank Kimmel in the 46 car. And Frank ought to give us some great views today. We'll also ride with the HS Dye Ford of Tim Steele. He lines up on the outside pole. Remember, these two drivers put on a heck of a show at Winchester just a few days ago here on Speed Vision. Also, we'll ride with Andy Belmont in his AOL Ford. He lines up 7th in the 1 car. And we'll take some rides today with another driver who ought to be very strong on this short track in the 70 car, Jeff Finley out of Michigan.
Yeah, Jeff Finley definitely likes these type of racetracks, and he's good at them. He's going to be exciting today.
Let's talk to the pole sitter's crew chief. He's with Don.
Well, guys, behind every successful race driver is a successful crew chief. This one happens to be Frank Kimmel's brother, Bill Kimmel. How good is the car today, Bill?
Well, we're really not sure because we tore it up a whole lot last week at Winchester, and we haven't had a chance to do a long run. I mean, it was obvious it was good for a couple laps to do a hole like that, but I don't know. We'll see in 40 or 50 laps. I mean, I hope we get good. I think we'll be fine.
Well, we'll see. I bet they'll be very good.
Yeah, who's he kidding?
84 degrees, pretty warm on the racetrack, Bill Venturini. Not much in the way of wind and a sunny situation here today. How hot will it be inside these race cars with a track temperature of 113?
It'll probably be about 140 degrees with the heat from the engine and everything that's going, because it's really hot and humid right now. So I expect maybe late towards the end of the race, we may see a little driver fatigue here.
Yeah, certainly that would be a factor. And I think the racetrack ought to be fairly slick once we get going, too.
No doubt about it. This place will get slick.
Ready to go racing the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200 here on Speed Vision. Frank Kimmel is your pole sitter. Tim Steele is alongside. We're glad you're with us, and we're underway. Blaze Alexander and Jason Jarrett in row 2, and Alexander in that 91 car. He'll be a contender. Steele on board down the backstretch for the first time. Kimmel pulls away by about 5 car lengths.
Well, Kimmel got a great start on that race. And look, you can see right away in 3 and 4, they're running right up against the wall there.
Alexander is 3rd, Jason Jarrett is 4th, Joe Cooksey and Tracy Leslie falling in line behind the top 4 cars. Everybody's starting to string it out now down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I think everybody's using their head right now. They're content to run in single file and get the cars, get some heat in the tires, get used to the racetrack. There's no sense in trying to run side by side right now.
I was taken by this place the first time I came here a couple of years ago. You have to race high here. I was surprised to see that.
What do you mean high? You mean like right up against the wall?
Right
like
against the wall.
right like that?
It's like a small Darlington in a lot of ways.
No doubt about it. And the bad part is it's bumpy up there.
Yeah.
The last time I raced this racetrack, it was so bumpy I knocked my contacts out of my eyes.
Wow. Now I know why I wore glasses.
Yeah, right.
Tracy Leslie in the 19 car starting to move up. He is ahead of Joe Cooksey's machine. We ride with Jeff Finley down into turn 3.
Yeah, he's looking on the outside of Andy Belmont, but Andy kind of slides up, and now Jeff's going underneath him.
Good battle down the front stretch here, and the fans love Salem Speedway. They turn out in droves here no matter what the series.
I don't care. If we've been here, I don't know how many times. This place has always been standing room only, and they keep putting more and more stands, and they keep filling them.
And as a matter of fact, here on race day, they were building more bleachers just a couple of hours before the green flag.
When we got into track this morning, I wasn't sure if they were going to have them all done, but sure enough, they not only finished them, they filled them.
And it's a pretty place to go racing here in the southern part of Indiana. A lot of farm country around here. There's a golf course behind the backstretch. It's an interesting place to come to.
Good battle right now for 3rd place. You got Tracy Leslie looking underneath Blaze Alexander.
Leslie on the charge in the 19 car, lapping by Norm Benning, and Norm Benning's team car already moving by the 06 machine too. And you got to like Blaze Alexander. He learned a lot, I think, in the NASCAR Busch Series. He's racing just about everywhere we go.
Well, you know, Blaze was racing in the ARCA Series before he went to the Busch Series, so he's like coming back home. Everyone's comfortable racing with him. They don't have to worry about, you know, some new driver coming in. Everybody knows Blaze. He's a really nice guy, and everybody has fun racing with him.
But Tracy Leslie back in the series also last year in the 19 car, whips inside of Alexander to grab 3rd. And Jason Jarrett riding right behind in the 67 car. He is 5th. And we've got trouble. One car has gone around, the 48 machine. Donnie Morlock has looped the Mountain Rock music for it on the backstretch.
It doesn't look like he's had any damage, but
we'll come back and check it out just a few laps into the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200. Welcome back to Salem Speedway in Salem, Indiana. The ARCA RE Series here on Speed Vision. Getting ready for a restart after a spin on the backstretch by Donnie Morlock. Early in the going here, Bill, anything catch your eye so far?
Yeah, Frank Kimmel and listening to his brother said, well, we're not sure if we got the car right. Yeah, sure.
We talked last week at Winchester how tough it is for them. They run a Chevrolet on the short tracks, a Ford on the speedways. Switching back the car brands makes it tough, but this is a fast Chevrolet they have.
Yeah, this is you know, I don't really think it makes that much of a difference. A race car is a race car, and when you know what you're doing to them, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, I don't think it really matters. You know, it's the people that work on them that make them go fast.
On board Jeff Finley's machine out of Lansing, Michigan, in that 70 car right behind Jason Jarrett riding 5th. That's Tracy Leslie up ahead of the Target Sawblade 19 car.
You can see the first 2 guys have kind of pulled off and left everybody, but now we've got a good race going for 4th.
Finley down low, trying to gain some ground on the inside. But here at Salem, all the races I've seen here over the years, pretty tough to do that. You'd think if you drop lower in the corners, you're saving so much ground that you can pick up on the driver in front of you. But you really need to run up by the wall here.
Yeah, because you don't get enough grip down there. It just seems like you can run almost run flat foot in 3 and 4 if you run up high. You get down on the bottom, you got to get on the brakes and slow the car down too much.
Riding with Andy Belmont in his 1 car. That's a Ford Taurus. I've had a lot of drivers tell me here over the years in stock cars, too, that to run up high, that's what you need to do to get the car to free up and turn.
Yes, yeah, definitely. The higher up you can run it, the more free it is.
Vern Slaw running in 9th. Billy Venturini in 10th spot in the Permatex Chevrolet. Working turns 1 and 2 here at Salem. A beautiful day for racing. That's Cooksey right in front of him in the 51 machine. Vern Slaw runs these short tracks and does very well on them in that Ford Taurus.
Yeah, you can see they're already lapping some slower cars right now, which is going to be, it's very similar to Winchester. Now you start to get the lapped cars running down on the inside groove. You're not going to be able to pass anybody. You're racing the guy in front of you, but you also got to watch the lapped cars.
Cooksey in the 51 sits 8th. Slaw in the 65 car is 9th. Billy Venturini rides 10th in the 25 machine. Down the front straightaway and into the first corner.
Keeps looking underneath him, getting into 1. And if you can pass down low, getting into 1 and 2. 3 and 4, it's really, really hard to do it.
And if you do pass low in 1 and 2, I've seen drivers have trouble getting back up to the high side, coming out of the backstretch. Cooksey managing to hold those 2 cars at bay. Slaw, for the moment, able to keep the 25 car back there in 10th.
Yeah, you can see Joe Cooksey gets a good bite coming off the corner there and is able to pull about 1 or 2 car lengths, but as they run down the end of the straightaway, Vern Slaw and Billy Venturini are able to catch right back up to him.
Venturini trying to sneak around the high side of Slaw there and then make that inside move, but Slaw's got enough to close him at the end of the front stretch.
Yeah, he's definitely using the whole back end of Vern's car right now. He hasn't hit him yet, but he's definitely letting him know he's there.
Unlike at Winchester, there was a lot of body damage in the first 50 laps. Here, we've been pretty much clean off the drop of the green.
Yeah, don't remind me about that. We had a lot of work to do after that race.
Tim Steele takes us for a ride down the back chute here at Salem. He rides second behind Frank Kimmel. These 2 drivers qualified on the front row once again. Steele trying to break through and grab another victory. But Kimmel has been so stout here in the early going. That's why he is the series point leader.
Yeah, you can see they go around the number 5 car, Randy Van Zant, right now.
Van Zant started up in 9th, so that is not a slow race car that they're putting a lap down.
These guys are setting a torrid pace right now, but let me tell you, I can't believe, I shouldn't say that, because Frank Kimmel and Tim Steele do this every race.
Yeah.
They always say, you want to ride and wait a little while. They're like the 2 rabbits that don't know how to go slow. They drop the green flag. These guys are out racing full throttle.
How about this, though? They're about to put Blaze Alexander, who was running 3rd earlier, a lap down.
Well, I think something's wrong with Blaze's car because he seemed to drop back a little right now. You see, he's not giving much fight. He kind of moved out and let Frank go underneath him.
So Kimmel will turn inside of Alexander's machine and drop him down 1 lap. Alexander qualified 3rd here today. Kimmel now will look to the outside of the 28 car.
That's Mike Bucklater going around on the outside. And you can see how these cars are starting to dance around again now, starting to lose a little grip on the racetrack.
So what can we expect to see today as far as tires are concerned? How many laps can you get out of a set of tires?
Well, the rule states we get 2 tires for every 50 laps. So each guy's got 2 sets of tires in his pits, counting the 4 in the car. I think you can go about, you can run 100 laps on them. I don't know if you really want to. If they're all green, you're in trouble. I think you can run maybe about 70 good hard laps on these tires, and then by that point, you're going to be slipping and sliding. Then you're just hanging on.
Well, Tim Steele is hanging on to 2nd spot right now in the HS Dive Ford, but he is a very strong machine also out here. Oh, we got trouble on the backstretch. We got a huge wreck. Billy Venturini, Cooksey, several other cars involved going down into turn 3. Some heavy damage. Vern Slaw is in this one as well. And the 13 car, Mike Melton from Cedar Grove, Tennessee, among those cars involved. And Bill, I hate to tell you, it looks like your son has wrinkled up the 25 car a ton.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. I think what happened, it almost looked like the 13 car got a little sideways here. Let's see if we can see in the replay. Nah,
this is the end of the incident. You see Slaw sliding down the track, and there's been heavy contact with Cooksey, with Billy Venturini, and with the 3rd car involved, the 13.
Yeah, you can see the 13 car and Billy are both going into the inside guardrail.
Kind of a typical Salem wreck. They are
Well,
high-speed impacts here.
What had happened was when they came off of turn 2, the 13 car was getting lapped. He got a little sideways and actually came across in front of all the top cars and took 3 of them out.
Well, Tim Steele, your outside pole sitter, brings the 16 car on the pit road. They'll take right side tires, add some gas to that machine. And now it looks as though they're going to come around that car. They're going to make this a 4-tire change. Let's go to Don Radabaugh.
16 car of Tim Steele on pit road, but the jack has fallen down on the 16 car. This is a costly pit stop. Jack came down way too soon, didn't have the left side rubber on. The car was a little loose. They changed that with a tire pressure adjustment with a lengthy stop. However, Tim Steele down and away.
Steele gives up track position. We'll be back at Salem. Welcome back to Salem Speedway in Salem, Indiana, the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200. We take a look at our Suzuki field summary in the top left of your screen. After the second caution of the day, the big wreck on the backstretch jumbles the field quite a bit as we get ready to go green once again.
Well, that wreck did take some of the top 10 runners out of the race, but, you know, Frank Kimmel didn't pit. He's leading. Steele came in, got tires, but look where he's at. He's 3rd. So I think Tim Steele right now has the biggest advantage out of anybody.
Fresh tires on that HS Dye Ford. He restarts 3rd. Jeff Finley restarts 2nd, but quickly Steele will drop to the inside and take over the 2nd spot as we ride down the back straightaway on Finley's machine.
Tim Steele didn't even waste a corner to get past Jeff Finley. He got by him going into through 1 and 2.
Tim Steele's got a lot to prove, he thinks, coming back from those injuries a couple of years ago. Raced in the NASCAR Truck Series, didn't have much success there. He's come back to ARCA trying to rebuild his career. Take a look at Tracy Leslie running 4th in that 19 car behind Finley. I think Steele is a guy who's got a lot to prove.
Yeah, but the other thing he's got to realize is now he's coming back to run ARCA, and you know, when he was running ARCA before, he was kind of the class of the field. Well, the competitors and the teams have picked up the pace tremendously in the last 3 years. So he's finding out that, yeah, he's not going to come in here and dominate like he did before.
Kimmel particularly has been the dominant car in the last 12 to 18 months probably in ARCA. And young Jason Jarrett doing a very nice job in the 67 car. He rides 4th behind Finley.
Yeah, he's definitely working the back of Finley. He's not wasting much time. He goes underneath him coming off the corner, going down the back straightaway into 3 and 4.
So Jason Jarrett with a strong run to gain the position down into turn 3 here. That 67 car seems to work pretty well here.
That was the classic move, how to pass somebody getting into 3 and 4. You got to get him going in, go underneath him, and right in the center, let your car push right up to the wall. You close the lane for the guy you're passing and gives you the advantage.
In sprint car racing, they call that a slide job.
Yeah, look at all the damage on the side of Andy Belmont's car. You can definitely tell he's been rubbing some fenders.
Well, he's an old dirt tracker as well, so he certainly knows how to use that kind of tactic here at Salem and at other racetracks. Up onto the backstretch in that Ford.
Look at the drink hose. As he goes down the straightaway, it's kind of hanging right in the center of our picture. He goes into the corner. It almost disappears. That gives you the idea of the G-force they have in these corners.
I think our pictures don't necessarily show you how steeply banked this place is. When you stand down on the infield, you see how high these hills are. Here's Steele now, drawn up on Frank Kimmel. Remember, Steele's got fresh tires on the 16.
Yeah, but I'm surprised. Kimmel's holding him off as good as he is right now. Now Kimmel's definitely using lap traffic to his advantage.
Kimmel a little loose coming out of the 4th turn last time around. Let's check back out on that battle between Finley and Andy Belmont for 5th spot. Belmont trying to get to the inside in the 1 car and may have him here.
Not quite. He wasn't able to pull the slide job getting into 3 and 4. Oh, look at these cars dance around. I was just going to say, look at Finley's car, and as I was going to say it, I saw Andy Belmont's hand on the steering wheel. You saw that car jump loose on him.
Belmont really good through 1 and 2, trying Finley again, trying to draw alongside him down the back straightaway. Can't do it, though.
No, I think he needs to settle down, run a couple laps behind him, let his tires cool off a little, and then try it again. The problem, we talked about tires. When you heat these tires up, these are bias ply tires. They're not radials. When these get... Oh, there's a challenge for the lead right now. Steele's...
And Tracy Leslie in the mix, too.
Look at Leslie.
Trying to hold off Steele and Leslie grabs 2nd away from Tim Steele.
What a slick move by Tracy Leslie. He saw a hole open up when Steele went to go underneath Kimmel, and he went around the outside of him. And now he's looking inside to go underneath Kimmel.
Steele, of course, a veteran, as is Kimmel, but particularly Tracy Leslie back in ARCA last year. He is really starting to show just the skill that he brings to the party here at Salem. Working to 2nd spot on that 19 car.
We got to realize you're looking at 3 past champions. From Frank Kimmel, Tracy Leslie, and Tim Steele are all past ARCA champions.
Out of turn 4 one more time. Kimmel has led all the way so far. Tracy Leslie kind of quietly has snuck into the middle of this dogfight between Steele and Kimmel. Leslie in the 19 car started 6th here this afternoon. We thought Steele was going to mount the charge for the lead there, and instead it was Leslie coming to the front.
Yeah, well, I think what's happened is Tim Steele's put enough laps on these tires now. The advantage of having those new fresh tires is pretty well gone. Now it's just who can save the tires they've got underneath them and keep the car from sliding.
Riding with the race leader in the 46 car, the Advanced Auto Parts Chevrolet. Here's Leslie now taking advantage of lap traffic to pick off the 46. Tracy Leslie takes over the point.
Man, did Tracy Leslie have a good bite coming off of 4? Did you see that? He was able to turn left and go underneath Frank Kimmel.
And you talk about how these cars dance around so much. We saw that out of 4 that time. There's a nice tire donut on the side of the 46 car after some contact.
I think there's going to be tire donuts on everybody, including the pace car, before this day's over.
Your leader is Leslie down into 1. He's approaching Ron Cox's machine to drop him a lap down. Right behind is Kimmel. Steele there as well. We're still in the first half of action at Salem. We'll be back on Speed Vision. Welcome back to Salem Speedway in Indiana. I'm Rick Benjamin with Bill Venturini. Don Radaba on pit road for the ARCA RE/MAX Stock Car Series. On board with second place runner Frank Kimmel. Gave up the point to Tracy Leslie a couple of moments ago. Tim Steele hanging right in there in third. We talked about Steele a little bit, Bill. He got the fresh tires during that first caution. I'm surprised that he hasn't been able to get up and get around Kimmel.
Well, you know, they were using the lap cars to their advantage, both Kimmel and Tracy Leslie. And like I said, I think they're, you know, these tires, they're good for about 20 laps. After 20 laps, they kind of fall off and there's no big advantage. Then you kind of just, they kind of run and run and run for about another 30 or 40 laps. And then they start to give away and start to slip and slide.
Here's Steele taking a look inside. Frank Kimmel now should be getting about to the end of that 20-lap window with the fresh tires, and he moves into second spot.
Well, you know, like we said, you know, I think we're at a point where Kimmel's tires are starting to go away a lot now, where Tim's are still okay. They're not, there's no advantage, but they're not going away. And Frank realized that and says, hey, you don't want to overdrive. You got to remember one thing. He was talking about overdriving this racetrack. You don't worry about the competitors right now. You worry about your car, your tires, and the racetrack.
Kimmel at the moment settling back into third spot after starting on the pole. Jason Jarrett rides fourth all by himself in that 67 car.
You know, I was talking to Jason Jarrett earlier today, and this is one of those tracks, you know, here's a kid who's never raced at Salem or Winchester, the 2 half miles that we're racing last week and this week, and he's amazed. He says, man, these racetracks are neat. I got to give this kid credit. He's been running excellent. He's in the top 5 right now at a racetrack he's never seen before. And he says, I've only seen these racetracks on TV and heard about them in the history book.
And this is a place that has a lot of chapters in a lot of motorsports history books. Jeff Finley in the 70 car rides 6th, and he is about to be put a lap down, it looks like. Tracy Leslie in the 19 is your leader, moving by Todd Bowser in the 21, and closing in on the 70 car.
Yeah, this is something that Jeff Finley doesn't want to see, is the leader right in his mirror.
Tracy Leslie setting a very, very rapid pace here in the first half of action at Salem Speedway. The Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200 has turned into a Leslie benefit. Finley is not going to be able to hold him off, it appears, for a whole lot longer.
Now, you know, you got to give credit to Tracy. He's been running ARCA back again for the last year. But you got to remember, you know, we talked about Bill Kimmel being Frank Kimmel's crew chief. Well, his brother, Tracy's brother, Lee Leslie, is the crew chief on this car.
Lee Leslie with Winston Cup experience as a crew chief not very many years ago with Dave Marcus.
As a matter of fact, Lee Leslie was even my crew chief at one point.
Wow, we know how long ago that must have been.
Okay, let's not go there, Rick.
Finley in the 70 hanging on, but here's Leslie turning inside of him coming off the second corner. There's a lap car in the way. Leslie threads the needle and puts Finley a lap down. So Leslie setting a very, very quick pace. Tim Steele rides second there in the 16 car.
So what have we got? 4 cars left on the lead lap right now?
These leaders are showing a very fast pace. Steele trying to run low, save some ground on the inside, and get up and get close to your race leader in that blue and black 19 car, Tracy Leslie. Finley can't be happy about this turn of events.
Well, you know, you got to say, you know, he's there. I thought Finley had a good shot of winning, and all of a sudden he's a lap down.
What's wrong with Tim Steele, though? He seems to be off the pace here a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know if he's just decided, well, why use it up right now and let's see if Tracy's going to use up his car. But I got to say one thing. I'm watching Tracy's car. His car is not slipping and sliding right now. He's getting through 3 and 4 just excellent.
Check in with Frank Kimmel, the pole sitter and early leader. He rides third. Kimmel nice and smooth down into turn 1. And all the crews taking a look at their drivers, talking to them on radios, planning for their next pit stop. We're going to take a timeout and be right back. Welcome back to Salem Speedway in Indiana, the ARCA RE Series here on Speed Vision. Watching plenty of battles around the racetrack. Your leader is the 19 car of Tracy Leslie, on board with Andy Belmont, who's moved the America Online Taurus up to 5th spot here.
Yeah, you can see Tracy Leslie just went around the car. Blaze Alexander got a report that the reason Blaze Alexander dropped back was he broke a right rear shock.
Definitely want to have all your shocks and springs in working order in a place like
Yeah, I was going to say, especially this place.
There's Belmont trying to hold back the 91 with Blaze Alexander. That's the black machine there. And back again, taking a look at your leader. The 19 of Leslie on board with Steele, who runs in 2nd spot behind that group of cars.
I think Tim Steele's starting to get a little impatient about leading this race right now. I think he's just waiting for Tracy Leslie to make a move on Blaze Alexander, and I think he's going to try and put a move on Tracy.
Unofficially, only 5 cars left on the lead lap as we watch Leslie working on Alexander. Andy Belmont rides 5th. He's trying to stay on the lead lap as they come down the front stretch.
Yeah, these leaders have really set a torrid pace. And like you said, they're almost ready to lap the 5th place car already.
Tracy Leslie in the 19 car has been stout after starting in the 2nd row. Got by Kimmel, got by Steele, grabbed the point several laps ago. And here he is right on the back deck lid of Belmont. And it looks like he'll put Belmont a lap down with very little difficulty.
Man, that car is really working good. He's got good bite coming off the corner, and he's not slipping in the middle. I'm really surprised.
Driving by Norm Benning's 84 car once again. Sobe Chevrolet to the inside. Leslie turning in a great run here so far at Salem in the 19 car. Leslie very, very tough at this racetrack, obviously. Likes the place a great deal. Belmont now trying to stay in front of Tim Steele, who runs 2nd. Remember, Belmont 5th.
Yeah, you made a comment that, he's running up front. He likes this racetrack. Usually, when a driver runs up front, he likes the race. Sure. Now, I can't say that all the time, because there was a point where I had won in Atlanta, and I couldn't stand the racetrack. It took me a couple wins in Atlanta to say, okay, I like the racetrack.
There you go. Steele in the 16 car, your outside pole starter. Andy Belmont in the 1. This is not a fight for position. Steele, it looks as though, will be able to put the 1 a lap down to 2nd place now. Belmont knows what's at stake here. He's fighting hard to hang on to that and just can't do it.
Well, right now, all Andy Belmont's hoping now is that Tracy Leslie goes and puts a lap on Jason Jarrett, who's now the 4th place car, and Kimmel. He's hoping, okay, as long as you're going to look at this. Tracy Leslie looks like he broke.
The leader in trouble down the backstretch. Leslie way off the pace to the inside. The 19 car no longer your leader. The target saw on Blade Chevrolet. Leslie will come around and come to pit road in that car. We'll send Don Radabaugh down there to try to find out what's wrong with that race car. But all of a sudden down the back straightaway, Leslie just out of power in that machine. He comes to the attention of his crew. Maybe they've got a tire down. They're going to go right side tires and fuel.
Yeah, I can see they're jacking up the car and they're looking to change tires, but
I don't think the crew is ready for that.
No. There's something under the hood. You can see the guy in the right front, and there's definitely smoke coming out of there.
That did not look like a slowdown because of a tire. Normally you see those in the corner. Well, they dropped the jack, and Leslie refires the car, so maybe that's all it was.
This happened to him last week. Now he's backing it up. He's not going out.
Yeah. Makes you think there may be something wrong in the rear end.
Yeah. It's not motor, because the car's definitely running. But, last week we were at Winchester. He was running up front. He had mechanical problems. Same thing bites him today, leading the race today. Look at all the tire donuts on the side of that car.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of contact there. So that gives Tim Steele the point now, but there's a spin right in front of the race leader. Darrell Basham goes around coming out of turn 2 in his 34 car out of Henryville, Indiana. Basham started back in the 21st spot. He will keep the car fired up. He will fall in at the back of the pack, but the caution does come out.
Yeah, look at this. We're going to look at it out of window. Tim Steele, who's now the leader. Look at this. Oh, man, it's the worst thing a leader ever wants to see. There's a lap car spinning in front of him.
Sure. Makes you wonder, though, the way that car got away from Basham, if he's just out of the window on tires. He needs tires over there.
And what a bad break for Andy Belmont.
We're going to take a quick timeout under caution. We'll be back at Salem.
Tracy, the car was a rocket for most of the day, but you're out. What happened?
We broke a gear in the rear end. It just, shame, you know. Trying to help Kevin Counselor out for target saws. We had the car to beat, I think, you know, late in the race. Which we're always good at the end of the race. We got to get to the end of the race.
Did you feel it coming on?
Yeah, we were just riding around seeing, you know, at the beginning, and we needed a little bit more bite, but, you know, we wasn't sure how the track was going to be, so we waited till the first pit stop, put a little bite in it, and thing commenced to flying.
Well, the defending race winner, Tracy Leslie, won't do it again here today.
And that car was flying before that broken rear gear puts him out for the day.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to be confused here. You notice that you got Tim Steele leading, and Andy Belmont's in second place, and then Kimmel. Andy Belmont's still a lap down. Kimmel's running second. The rule in ARCA...
Contact right off the drop of the green. Belmont tries to drop low and runs into Blaze Alexander's machine down there.
Well, what I was going to say, what the ARCA rule states is that the lead lap, if you're lap down, you do not have to drop to the inside. It's the courtesy, and I think what Andy Belmont wanted to do was he wanted to be able to stay in the fast lane, get past all those lapped cars, and then drop to the inside, which he did, except he didn't wait quite long enough, and he came down and hit Blaze Alexander.
So contact down the back straightaway, but everybody stays out of the wall. Jeff Finley rides fifth in the 70 car. Jason Jarrett in the 67. Dale Jarrett's son trying to get close to him and battle for position. There's Blaze in the black number 91. That's a Pontiac. And there's Andy Belmont in the one car. Looked like Belmont may not have come up to speed off that restart either.
Yeah, it looked like well, it's hard to say. Kimmel and Steele have been rockets, so they may have just had an excellent jump. And that, I'd have to say more of that than anything, because I've been watching these guys all day, and they are definitely, you know, quick on the restarts.
Riding with Frank Kimmel, your pole sitter, down into the turn here at Salem. Right behind Tim Steele. Kimmel rides in second spot. He and Steele battling for the point.
Well, now we'll see what Frank's got, because now they've both got fresh tires. They've come in, both have put on tires, and now look at Kimmel. Kimmel's definitely dogging Tim Steele. Around the outside. Now, this is a power move.
Kimmel trying to get the lead back. He led early here today, and he does. He rolls right by Steele on the back straightaway, so give Frank Kimmel the lead once again.
Well, all that shows me is that Frank Kimmel was sure giving Tim Steele a false sense of security earlier on in the race.
These two drivers have staged a great battle for much of the season. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of this before the year's over.
Yeah, and this is just a rollover from last year, especially at this racetrack. If I'm not mistaken, I remember a lot of fender rubbing with a couple laps to go.
Well, Salem is certainly conducive to that. It's full contact short track racing here in the ARCA Remax Series. Down the back straightaway, Kimmel in the 46, Steele in the 16, run 1-2.
Where does it say that in the rule book? You know, I just...
Well, isn't it a case of if it doesn't talk about it, you can do it?
You can do it? Okay. Boy, let me tell you, I know it's a full contact sport because we've had to go home and fix these cars.
Yeah, you've brought more race cars home in buckets this year than any other 10 guys combined, I think. Jason Jarrett rides third in the 67 car, turning in another good ride for ML Motorsports, his team owner.
Did you see how close he is up to the wall in 3 and 4? I thought for sure one of these times he's definitely going to put that, as they used to call it, the Darlington stripe. He's going to put the Salem stripe on that car.
I think Jason Jarrett's making believers out of a lot of people this season. He tried several years to be a success in the NASCAR Busch Series, had a regular ride with Bill Baumgartner's team a couple of years ago, and couldn't keep the ride. And of course, he's a third-generation driver, son of one of the greats in current Winston Cup competition, grandson of one of the all-time greats in Ned Jarrett. I think he's starting to show people he really does have talent.
Oh, I think he needed to mature just a little more as a driver. And the other problem you have with the Busch Series is that it's very political.
Yeah.
You know, you get into a ride and the owners expect results immediately. They don't really give the drivers time, the young drivers, the time to mature and groom and what it takes to be a good race car driver. You can't just climb into one of these race cars and be good at it.
No.
You know, it takes a long time. It takes probably 5 years to groom a driver to be right to be able to drive these heavy cars. Oh, look at Blaze Alexander. I think he touched the wall right there.
I think so too, but he keeps it straight. He's behind Andy Belmont. Belmont is fifth. Then there's Blaze and Todd Bowsher in the white 21 car, Jack's son.
Boy, that familiar blue and white.
Yeah.
That goes back 20 years. I remember those color schemes for the Bowser team.
And Ron Cox's machine further back there, the 23 car. Blaze Alexander, we thought he might have had a problem earlier, but he seems to be back up to speed in the 91 car.
Well, I did find out they broke a shock. They came in, fixed it, and now he's back running pretty good. Whoa!
Only 3 cars remaining on the lead lap, the 46, the 16, and the 67. These cars all a lap down, but all fighting for position here. In fact, Blaze in 7th is 2 laps down. That's unbelievable.
Well, at the pace that the leader set at the beginning of the race, it kind of put everybody at a disadvantage.
Oh, we got trouble again. Daryl Basham goes around for the 2nd time in his Basham Racing machine. 2nd time today that he has spun and brings out a yellow flag in the 34 car. So everyone will back off and cool things down for a couple of moments. Basham didn't hit anything, so he will be able to continue in the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200. While we were away, some of the leaders decide to come to pit road. Frank Kimmel's crew servicing the 46 car. They will do left side tires after changing rights initially. But Tim Steele gets out of pit road first, so Steele will be able to maintain the advantage here. We're ready to go green. It's Steele and Kimmel. They're the only 2 cars left on the lead lap. Jeff Finley up to 3rd, but he's a lap down in the 70.
Right, you got Jeff Finley, and then you've got Jason Jarrett running 4th.
Riding with Kimmel in 2nd spot behind leader Tim Steele. Now, I'm surprised that Steele was able to do better on pit road than Kimmel and his crew. They've impressed me all year as being about the best crew on pit road.
Well, I noticed that Kimmel's Jackman was late coming around on the left side. There was a problem. He couldn't leave the right side right away because the left front tire changer was sitting there waiting for the Jackman to come around. And that only happens when you have a problem. But the way Kimmel's car has been performing today, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
Laps winding down here at Salem, the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200. The leaders on fresh rubber. Here's Kimmel to the outside of Steele, going for the lead on the back. Oh, they touch. Contact again, just like at Winchester.
Yeah, and this is exactly what happened last year. Coming off a 4th corner, the same thing. And like I think Tim Steele said, wait, the shoe's going to be on the other foot. I think he meant the fender was going to be on the other door or something there.
Here's Kimmel trying to work to the inside of Steele, and he can't do it. Steele able to keep the 16 car out in front. Working through 3 and 4 now. Kimmel is certainly very aggressive behind the wheel. He is not thinking, hey, I want to win a championship. I'm going to ride here. A second's fine. He wants to win this race, no doubt about it.
Well, you got to realize this is definitely Frank Kimmel's home track. His shop isn't what, I think 12 or 13 miles away from this place. This is home to him. You know, we talk about Kentucky Speedway being his home track because it's not too far. This is truly Frank Kimmel's home racetrack.
And Frank Kimmel once says, hey, you're not going to come into my house and take this race. To the inside of Steele for the lead. Kimmel's got it from Jeffersonville, Indiana. Frank Kimmel takes the 46 car back to the point.
Yeah, he didn't wait too long to put that move on him. He can definitely show that he's got a great handling race car.
So Kimmel opens up a couple of car lengths quickly on Steele. There's Finley, 3rd place machine, that blue number 70.
And you got to remember, last week we saw the same thing happen in Winchester, and with probably about 30 laps ago or 40 laps ago, Kimmel blew a right front tire and crashed. Even though he was running away from it, he definitely had Tim Steele covered there. He ran into some mechanical problems. Now he is pulling away just a little right now.
Both these cars up in front have got fresh tires. They just pitted a few moments ago, but at a place like Salem, your right front takes a lot of pounding, so you never know what could happen.
And now you're definitely working the lap traffic. Oh, look at Finley. 3 wide. No.
You don't want to do that coming up onto the backstretch here at Salem if you can avoid it. He'll lap by the 38 car.
That was a smart move on Jeff Finley's part, just to back off, say, all right, let these guys get straight, and let's keep this Bailey excavating Chevrolet in one piece.
Ryan Bose of Jacksonville, Michigan, in that 38 car, giving way. Norm Benning right there in the Sobe 84. Finley will try to get by him, and he will, coming up on the backstretch. I'm surprised Benning's able to stay out there. He's been laying down a smoke screen for 75 laps.
Yeah, and Jeff Finley, look at his car's pretty clean today.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of tire marks. Speaking of Bailey excavating, isn't it Bill Bailey's birthday or something? But he turned 59, I heard. Yeah. That's like a woman saying she's 30 or 20.
Uh-oh. You mean he's had several 59th birthdays? Well, let's take you back a few moments. During the last caution while we were in commercial break, Andy Belmont had to come to pit road with a brake problem. In fact, he overheated a brake badly, Bill. It looks like they had a little fire under the hood there.
Yeah, a lot of times what happens is the brake caliper or rotor gets so hot, it starts to burn anything that's there. You can see they're trying to put the fire out. They're going to try and get it fixed, which they did, because you can see he was back on the racetrack.
They put brake fluid in that master cylinder and got Belmont back out there. The 16 of Tim Steele, meantime, running in second spot behind leader Frank Kimmel. He'll try to reel Kimmel back in here in the waning moments, but he's running out of time today at Salem.
You can see they go back around the 84 car of Norm Benning, who's still smoking coming off the corners.
So Kimmel's lead about 4 car lengths over Steele, getting close to the end of the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200 today at Salem Speedway. Packed house here to watch the ARCA RE stock car stars in action. It's been a great day for racing. Temperatures in the middle 80s. Plenty hot on the racetrack. You saw earlier our track temperature at the start, 113 degrees here. And in the cars, maybe 140 or so. And it's early in the year, not even the summertime yet.
Yeah, you can see Donnie Morlock was slowing down the back straightaway. I don't know if he's going to make it into pit road or not.
Getting toward the end here. Some of the cars and drivers plenty tired at Salem. The 2 leaders appear to be in fine shape. Morlock in the 48 has had problems. In fact, he brought out our first caution today. Looks like he may bring out another one in the Mountain Rock Music Ford. Stops on the inside of the racetrack, going down the back straightaway. And the yellow flag indeed will wave. So we see Kimmel and Steele get out of the throttle, and the caution will come out here at Salem for Donnie Morlock's machine on the backstretch.
This is going to be an interesting restart.
Just a few laps to go when we come back to Salem. Our Speed Vision coverage of the ARCA RE/MAX Series is brought to you by RE/MAX. In the race to sell homes, our track record is second to none. RE/MAX, outstanding agents, outstanding results. By Cornwell Quality Tools, professional mechanics worldwide choose Cornwell, the official tools of ARCA. And by Suzuki ATVs, makers of the Quadmaster 500 4x4. It has the performance to keep you rolling. We're rolling toward the checkered flag here at Salem Speedway in Salem, Indiana. Just a couple of laps to go to settle this one. Frank Kimmel will have the restart pole. Tim Steele will be right behind. Todd Bowsher's machine is next. Jason Jarrett in the hunt, too. Green and going with 3 laps left, Bill.
Yeah, the standing room only is going to be standing now. Green, white, checkered. So let's see if the hometown boy, Frank Kimmel, can hold off Tim Steele.
Kimmel on the beam in that 46 car, but Steele right with him in second spot. This is the way they ran here 1 year ago. Steele says, hey, I owe this guy one. We'll see if he can deal him a different hand of cards this time. Coming to the white flag as they race down the back straightaway. Kimmel opens up a couple of car lengths. If Steele's got anything for him, he needs to show it here.
Yeah, if he's got anything, he's got, and I don't think he does. Actually, Frank's able to pull away a little more.
White flag in the air down into turn 1. Steele trying to turn lower on the racetrack and get a better bite out of turn 2, but he can't get any kind of jump. Kimmel's car is just going to rocket ship most of the day. Frank Kimmel through 3 and 4. He is going to put another victory on the board. Frank Kimmel from Jeffersonville, Indiana, wins one in front of the hometown fans. Tim Steele comes home second. Then you've got Jason Jarrett, Blaze Alexander, Jeff Finley, and a very happy crew on pit road. The Advanced Auto Parts Chevrolet. Frank Kimmel, his crew chief brother Bill, they have scored a major win here in front of their hometown fans. And look how thrilled these fans are to see all this.
What a crowd.
Jeff Finley grabs third, Jason Jarrett, Todd Bowsher, and Blaze Alexander, the rest of your top 6, as we take you through the final results here at Salem Speedway.
See, Tracy Leslie ends up 18th after leading part of this race.
And there's the Venturini family ride. Billy comes home 23rd after that wreck. Well, in victory lane, Frank Kimmel out of the race car, and he is accepting the applause of the fans here at Salem Speedway. You can tell, full house of the grandstands, a lot of folks in the infield, and they got what they came to see. A great battle between Steele and Kimmel. Don Radebau's in victory lane.
In step with all the sports stars these days, Frank Kimmel climbs the fence at Salem Speedway, and for good reason. Congratulations, Frank. Let's get you turned around here and chat for a while. A difficult day, I suppose, for some, but for you, a pretty good one. Great day.
Yeah, it really was. What a race car. Advanced Auto Parts Sport car. Man, that thing was just, it was great all day. We got out in front and first. The track was really slick. Just couldn't get a hold of the place at all, and Bill made an adjustment at that first stop, and it was over from there. We had the best car by far, and Tim raced me clean, had a great job. That was great.
Frank Kimmel, win number 24 of his career and 4th here at Salem Speedway.
So Kimmel, the dominant horse. Take a look at how the points stack up. Now Kimmel's lead 150 markers over Tim Steele. Let's talk to our second place finisher here at Salem.
Well, Tim, you came home second today. A great day. You didn't win, but you got close.
Yeah, you know, anytime you're running for championships, top fives are good. And, you know, I guess second's next best thing to win. And, you know, we're pretty happy with the HS Dye Soft Tech Ford Taurus. We were just off a little bit in the center of the corner all day. And, you know, I guess that about sums it up.
Not a happy camper in second. Kimmel collects his hardware. We're going to talk to the third place finisher.
Well, he doesn't come around much, but when he does, we all know he's here. Another stellar performance. Jeff Finley, third today. You got to be feeling all right.
Well, a little disappointed. You know, we had a pretty good race car. I don't think we had anything for Tim and Frank, but, you know, a couple races and a second and a third, we'll take it. Bailey Racing does a great job, brings some guys in that really get the team going, so we're pretty excited.
Sounds like they got the driver going pretty well, too. He was second at Winchester and third here today at Salem.
Good short track racer out of Michigan. Racing communications are provided for us by Racing Electronics, the official communications supplier of ARCA. For a free catalog, call 1-800-272-7111. For Don Radabaugh and Bill Venturini, I'm Rick Benjamin, congratulating Frank Kimmel.